Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Subway Builder, the UK edition. Well, we're back within London, boys, and we now have London more connected than ever before. Last episode is an interesting one. Apart from my video file getting corrupted, we managed to build our start of our big outer loop, which now completely dwarfs our inner loop so much that when I'm staring at this, I don't even realize there's an inner loop. Crazy, right? Now, hopefully today is the day we can finally get this outer loop all finished and connected. I need to extend my pink line going down and my orange line just so I can then create the connections of my outer loop to both of them as it passes through and then hooks itself all the way back up to Heathrow. Now, there's going to be some interesting things that are going to happen with this outer loop. I can tell you instantly right now, once I complete the outer loop, it's going to take passengers away from the blue line and the red line. Now, if we check our route ridership right now, you can see the blue line out of nowhere has become super dominant all over again, and it's got so many passengers on it, which is absolutely wild. I've never seen that many passengers. That's got to be from the extensions we did last episode. It just has to be. But anyway, what I'm saying is once I complete the loop, we then have a line that goes to Heathrow that doesn't have to go east or west. I've got a north and south. So all these little areas down here, just like what's going on up north, can go from Heathrow down to access all of them. Which right now they're currently having to go on the red or blue line and then switching to go down. This could change everything, or not, stays the same. If anything, it then just puts more people on the red and blue line. I don't know. I don't know. But if you are enjoying the series, smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. Right, let's then extend the pink and the orange line first. Let's get both of these on the way so we can rock and roll. So let me first get the demand stats and just quickly pin them. I can see that the pink line is going to run itself going down this way anyway. So this is kind of going more on a diagonal approach, which is probably going to end down here, which makes most sense. Orange line looks like it's going to come down here. But is the orange line following anything? I think it's just following the road, isn't it? Yeah, so we're going to have to artificially make that go where we want it to go. So let's start with the pink line then. This obviously is making the most sense. And I reckon we can get, I don't know actually, is this elevated? That's actually a good point. Now, we're at a -10. Let me put this to -5. Okay, it is elevated, which is going to save me quite a few pennies. And I think we can keep this elevated as well. So if we go ahead then and build a station here. Now, I'm not going to pay attention to where I think the Chrissy Cross should happen on the outer loop line. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I'm going to build what I feel is a solid run for this pink line's extension. And then we'll rejig, if needs be, where we feel like it's going to make the most amount of sense. Now, the more rural I'm now getting, the less and less circles and bubbles there are around us. To the point where this is going to be now our final stop. Oh my goodness me, that is my final stop right there. So, some glorious extensions. I don't know where the green line is going to kind of run. I'm actually not too sure. So before I commit to any of this, why don't we take a look at now doing underground, which is going to have to be a -10 because the buildings have to pass through the orange line's extension. So I want it to, in theory, end up. I want it to end up down here, which for me makes the most amount of sense. So if I kind of slightly start coming back through this, we're going to like reverse engineer it. So we're going to have a stop there. I'll also do a stop here, which is decent enough. Now, running this up, I want to stop here. So I'm going to do a stop there. Now, these are fairly close together. Okay, these are fairly close together. We'll do a stop there, and I'm going to do a stop there. Okay, these are really close together right now. Actually, I just realized I'm now not going the direction I need to go. So let me undo those two. And then we are going to have to now poise ourselves here for a little bit of a turn. So let's kind of continue like this. But it's now kind of turning away. So there is no logic in how I'm doing this. There really isn't any logic whatsoever. So if I do that, right, zoom out, you can see how this is now going to work. Interesting. I don't know whether that makes sense or whether I should just delete, and instead come down on the... Oh, that's building track, isn't it? Come down here on the road. There we go. To me, that makes more sense. That honestly makes more sense. So if the loop's coming from this way, I feel like we should have the crossy, which is going to have to be a -15 at this point, happen here. Right, there we go. Happen there on that station. And then obviously coming down here, I reckon I can kind of bring that down this way. And I get it to cross there. Right, I have my Chrissy Crossies now all set up. Let's get the magic underway. I'm so excited for this. Right, let's build some tracks then. So, could this now be my most expensive build yet? I have a feeling it could be. I have a feeling it could be because of the sheer lengths. Okay, there's a lot of stops here close by, but it is quite a populous area. The sheer lengths that we're now going to be running and the depths. The only saving grace is the pink line is all elevated, so that's where I will save a few pennies. But beyond that, this orange line and my outer loop line are going to be so expensive. Right, that's as far as that's now going. I'm going to add a crisscross. And already I've now committed to 3.8 billion. Ooh, baby, that's expensive. That's expensive. Right, let's now build the elevated section. So this is where I now go ahead and start saving a few pennies. So we'll do it a +5. And keep this going quite smart. Right, there we go. And then run you in. Nice. This should be fairly easy. I like it when you can just kind of go length to length. No dramas. I like it. That one, not so much. But that's okay. We can bend it in. And then all the way, baby. There we go. Leading this up. Oh, no, that I just realized that actually, let me undo. Clips for a building. Oh, and I've just done it again. What am I playing at, boys? What am I playing at right now? Right, there we go. Wiggled that around. Wiggled that around, boys. And then run this. In. And of course, add the crisscross. So that was the cheaper part of all of it, but it still pushed my expenses up right now to 4.54 billion. Woo! Jeez. Which is ridiculous. Now, I can commit to those and start building them, but I reckon we go ahead and we complete the loop line at the same time, because I know this is going to be hilarious. Right. Build stations. We'll go to a -10. We're already set up on that one to be a -15, so that one's already ticked off right now. And then I'll do a stop here for that little town centre. We'll do a stop just there. And then we will run a stop going up just here to bridge the gap between all of these. So building tracks. Now, I've said this before. Me building this outer loop, there's no logic to it. It doesn't make sense because I never planned to have this in the first place. So this is just more of a fantasy line. That's the best way I can explain it and why it feels super weird. It's just more of a fantasy line. Right, that coming down here. So I'm going to do a stop there. I'll do a stop here. And then we'll include and incorporate a stop here. It's more to maximize the radius of these bubbles. All right, keep it going. I know this is going to be... I'm just waiting for that moment where it says insufficient funds. I am waiting for that moment. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to come. But there we go. Oh, we've got the loop connected up on the one end. Right, this is quite the important run right now. So, build stations. We're going to go there. We're going to go there. We're going to go here. And I kind of want to maximize the amount of untouched areas here. So I'm going to treat it a little bit differently. And go like that. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. I could have gone that way or that way. It doesn't really matter. It's going to reach the same radius anyway. So now... when will the game hit me with insufficient funds? It might actually, do you know what? It might not. I don't want to look to see what my current building costs are currently at. Because it's, you know, it's all part of the fun, isn't it? It's all part of the fun. Right. The final couple of connections. Leading now in. Right, so still no insufficient funds. And there's my big outer loop and my 2 line extensions at the same time. So the cost of it, oh, okay. Oh, we were close. We were actually close. We were close to insufficient funds. Right, let's build these. Let's commit to those builds, baby. Right. That's the most I've ever spent in one single purchase. But it's done. It is now done. So I think what we'll do first then is the easier routes to kind of adjust, and that'll be the extensions of the pink and the orange line. So edit these routes then. Hopefully all goes to plan. No shenanigans, please. No shenanigans. Right, wait for it to update. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. There we go. Down to there, but we're going to get all these in real quick. And that should now all update itself as well. Nice. Right. So let me confirm those changes. We've had an extra 20 minutes, I think, onto that lines extension. Train-wise, got to bring the frequencies down. I'm enjoying the 5, 10, 15 thing at the minute. Hold on. What is it? Shift? There we go. I'm going to buy... How many can I buy? Can I buy 200? Yes, we have enough for 200. So 30, 15, 10. Nice. And then we do the orange extension. Now, before I do anything right now, pink line is the least used line outside of the double loops. I've said this before. I kind of class the 2 loop lines to be one line. So you're just going to add them together. I wish you can combine them so you get one stat. Pink line outside of the loop line is the least used line. Orange line is the 3rd most used line. So could the orange line overtake the red line with this extension? Potentially. Wow, the blue line's got over 600,000. But I don't know what's going to happen to the outer loop line. My question for the outer loop line is, once I split it into 2, clockwise and counterclockwise, is it carrying more passengers than the inner loop line? If you look at the stats right now, you would say no, it won't, because if you half the ridership it's got right now, the inner loop lines carry more people. But that's only because, right, the outer loop line it's not a loop. It's not yet completed. I'm about to complete the line to connect it to new areas. So that in itself could add a lot more people. Right, what's going on here? I think I selected the wrong stations. Right, let's get all these connected. Gotta wait for the confirmation. I don't want to miss any stations. There we go. There we go, boys. And then finally, just there. Right. Okay. Very good. Very good. So, quickly confirm those changes. We'll then jump back up to the trains and we'll do our 5, So we'll do 30, 15. It's going to be 14. 10. Yeah, we'll call it 15, guys. They're now all extended. So back into play mode then. And we'll just let this run for a minute or two. Try and reap in some rewards right now before we get ready to completely destroy everything we know right now about this green line. No, I keep calling it the green line. It's the outer line, Seniac. The outer loop. The outer loop. Right. Very exciting. What I like the most about it is there's quite large areas like this and here, which doesn't share anything with any other line, so it becomes quite important on its own like merit. So that's pretty good. Right, so we need to sort this loop out then, don't we? We really need to sort it out. The route riderships, anyway. You can see how these are now going to get affected. I don't know if the orange line is going to overtake the red line. I don't know, but I'm going to pause right now because we're coming to the end of the day shortly, and it will be nice to start the next day with my outer loop completed. So I've got to go for the painstaking task right now of getting rid of all the stops on the one side of the tracks. Now, this is going to be effort. There we go. It's going to take a while. Trying to do multiple all in one go. Wait for those confirmations. All right, come on. There we go. And then once it's confirmed that it is said loop, we are all good. We are all good to go. So this is going to be the clockwise route then, with the way that I'm getting rid of the right-hand side here, which is now going to be the left-hand side. It's gearing up to be the clockwise loop of this outer loop. All right, we're almost at the end. It's a huge loop, but it's a lot shorter than you think because the stations are more spaced out. Now, obviously, because we're getting rid of all these stations, I've got too many trains for then half in the line station. But once we add the other stations in to complete the loop, then I put that there, get rid of you. Then it might go back to being the right amount of trains, if that makes sense. So now I can add in all on the new extension. And I'm hoping it's going to register an update shortly. Because the green tracks are on both sides still. Not quite sure why. Right, it's becoming a pain now to update. It really is. I may have missed a station. I may or may not have missed a station. Oh, no, it is on one side. Sorry, it is on one side. That's actually done. Holy moly. That's ridiculous. So zero's there. It goes 1 all the way up, then to 45 stops. So confirm those changes. This is going to completely... We might have some issues with the trains at this point. So yeah, okay, right. We actually wasn't that far off. So I can reduce a little bit. So 26, 12, 8. So outer loop, clockwise. Okay. And now I need to create a new route. Counterclockwise. And we'll go... so that's the color we used. Right. That's the color we use. If I go for a custom color... and just create that one. It's... Meh. All right, there we go. They're somewhat together. Right, the outer loop then. The outer loop counterclockwise. Now I'm going to edit this one. So we'll start it here. And we've now got to run this all the way around. This is going to be a painful task. Right, it's already committed to doing the full loop ski. There we go. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, that was perfect. That was a generational run there of clicks. All right, bam, 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 bam. Another generational run of clicks right there. Right, I'm getting too ahead of myself right now. I'm going to mess up at some point. Right, I've messed up. Right, oh, I clicked that one twice. Right, let's get that one back in. And then where are we at now at this point? I'm going to take it easy now. It's getting a little bit more complex. So that's all in. Keep it going. Very good. I hesitated on that last one. And how far off are we now? So bam, 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 bam. Wait, I meant to click you. Bam, bam. Right, that's all done as well. So 0 starting up there, pretty much the same as the other one. Goes around 45 stops. We know we've got them exactly how we want them. So confirm those changes. We now need to add all those trains in. So double it up. Probably don't have enough money or enough trains in total. So what do I hold here? Shift? Yeah, we'll buy 200 again. So what was it? Was it 24, 12, 8? Is that what it was? Yes. We're done. We are now done. So now it means we can start the next day and then we'll have a full day of utilizing this route and then we'll get an accurate representation of where it all lies. Very exciting, boys. Very exciting right now. So my question is going to be first then. So we will see the outer loop clockwise now drop ridership because now... I mean, you don't know, actually. It might not. But now it doesn't do the full length back and forth. We've got to split that, basically. So we'll see what happens there. My question is now, does the 2 outer loops carry more passengers than the 2 inner loops? We are going to find out. We are going to find out. But we truly do have a spider's web right now. We literally have a spider's web network. How crazy is this? Absolutely crazy right now. Right, where are we at then? So it's now the morning. We've got to wait for the first morning rush hour to now kick in. The orange line has actually now overtaken the red line. The red line was, for the majority of this series, the most dominant line. Now all of a sudden the orange line has taken over it. Ridiculous. I mean, it's our major north and south route, so, you know, completely understand. I completely understand. Right, very good. Very good. So the outer loop clockwise is now dropped by the green line as the ridership is now starting to decrease. We'll get a rough idea of where it's kind of heading when we see the outer loop counterclockwise start climbing up. And if the outer loop counterclockwise overtakes any of the inner loops, we get a rough ballpark of where we're at. Yeah, that will give us a rough ballpark. Now, the pink line hasn't increased as much as I was expecting it would. But all of a sudden now, it's got this dramatic and quite simply easy connection from Heathrow to go inwards. Rather than it being a 1 train, 2 train, then you're on your 3rd train, it's 1 train, 2 train. So it just makes things a lot more simplified and quicker to get to, like, certain points around the area. So that works out. That really, really does work out. Okay, so I think it's a case of just now leaving it. We are running through the morning rush hour, so I just have to kind of now just play the waiting game. Demand stats suggest that we've got a quarter of the people in London using my transit network. And remember, I know I have to keep bringing this up. These numbers are skewed because once I reduce the ticket price and make it affordable for everybody, everyone's going to want to use my transit network. That's all I'm going to say. It's all I'm going to say. So get ready for that, okay? Just get ready for that right now. Get ready for it. So, unfortunately, we got to wait for this whole day to run by. We'll also get an accurate representation as well of what profit we're now making. Look at the amount of money I've spent. Damn, I've spent some serious dosh lately, boys. I've spent some serious dosh. Oh my goodness me. This is the most money I've spent in a single episode. It is now high figures. High billions, baby. Right, it's now lunchtime. What's route ridership now saying? Outer loop is still gaining. The counterclockwise. The clockwise route still hanging in. Pink line's overtaken, though. Pink line's overtaken. It's now just what happens and where it all now settles down. These last final few hours is where it all now is going to change. So I'm going to say the outer loop carries more passengers. And here's my reasons. 1, it goes directly to Heathrow. 2, it has a greater radius of untapped areas than the inner loop. While the inner loop is predominantly around high populated areas, it's also fighting more lines close by where there's bigger gaps between lines. So it kind of makes more sense for the outer loop to be carrying more passengers. And the new outer loop line it's on the way to overtake. Will they both overtake? I don't know. I don't know there. Right, what's demand stats saying? Have we increased a little bit? Yeah, 27% now. We are starting to see a lot more blue. And I can probably double it by reducing ticket prices. I don't know when. I know a few people, you guys have been asking when are you going to do it. I don't know when yet. I don't know whether to leave it to the very end and then just see what happens. I'm not too sure. But what I like is having the ticket price high, you kind of then dominantly see areas you're underserving. Like you got a patch there, a patch there, all here. So you could run a line going down here. Or you could run a line like coming down here. And because it crosses all these other lines, it makes sense. I could do another like middle loop. That's going too far. That is just going too far at that point, isn't it? Right, what's route ridership now saying? Oh, we've done it, boys. The outer loop is now overtaken the inner loop. Oh, the pink line's overtaken the green line. See, I knew the pink line would do good. We just had to wait for the outer lines to kind of like really transfer them over. I bet you that station there has high transfers. Right, so orange line is actually dominating pretty dramatically. We've now got 100,000 more. Now, I did say this. I did say the loop line will take away from the blue line and the red line. Turns out I was right, but not about the blue line. If anything, it's brought more passengers to the blue line. It's actually taken more away from the red line than anything else. To the point where the yellow line is kind of looking to the red line right now going, hey, what's your next move? But I do need to extend the red line, and it probably might either come down this way to bridge the gap to this area, and we'll have the yellow line continue to go that way. I'm thinking that's what we are ultimately going to do on that front. But the day's ended. How much money did we make? Look at the profit difference. No, I say the profit, the income difference. So that means the profit skyrocketed to 2. Oh my goodness me. So we've only recently just passed 2 billion. 2.7 billion? Shut up. That's a lot of cash. That is a lot of cash right there. So demand stats should have dropped then because it's now a less demanding time of the day. But holy smokes. That is wild. Absolutely wild behavior right there. I'm actually quite happy with how that outer loop has now turned out. One more loop and I've created the M25. Holy moly. Right, we're going to end it here, boys. Hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.